Huh?
Is it said high Hawaii low?
It is?
Can't be red. Huh?
Oh, probably what they have, what's his name? Yeah, especially with a hat on.
Hey, want to drink water?
Come on, ladybugs.
We still got those stuff, so they're almost.
A very Brady sequel. Slightly.
Your room?
Annie hasn't even seen it.
I've seen like one episode. It was about people that got stuck on an island and had to fight to survive.
Kinda.
Whoa!
Yes, dear. Oh, yeah.
There are no polar bears in there. I don't think we start.
Annie,
Okay, I'm just trying to get a little piece of the sun here.
white beef instead. Now we're going to move on. So off to the left hand side, we're going to be passing by a bunch of different ponds filled with different items. And all these things that I'm sharing with you guys today Our items that we plan to eventually sell either on our property or at the visitor center, Antipax Cafe, or at local farmers markets. Like this one has some freshwater goby as well as some shrimp, also known as the Oahu or the Okaigula. Up ahead we have some channel catfish. And then further along we have grass carp. Okay, so this area has all of these different products. As I said, it's still really early in development, so nothing's really producing at a consistent rate. Once everything starts going and we have all of these items that are producing equally, then we eventually plan to be selling them to local restaurants, farmers markets, or as I said right here, in our restaurant and our gift shop has all of these ingredients. And when it rains, like when it pours, it's a beautiful place to come and visit because that's where we get a ton of waterfalls all along the sides of the valley. So even on a really ugly day, it's still a beautiful place to come. And then once again, as I said, we have some Malaysian prawns over here to our left. To our right hand side. We're going to have our sheep here on the right hand side of us. Normally they're up ahead. If we don't see them, oh, we do see them. Yes. Yeah. Right all out there. So they're known as Dorper. It's a crossbreed between Dorset and Harper sheep, and they acclimate really well to dry areas. They shed on their own, so they're low maintenance. Hey, we like it. Now, what we plan to do with these animals, just like our beef, we have grass-fed beef that we sell. Eventually, we plan to have grass-fed lamb that we're selling on our property too. The sheep are our newest additions here to this diversified agriculture section of Oahu. So we just brought them in a couple of months ago. So you guys came in time to see them. Super cute. Feel kind of bad. We're gonna look them later. Yeah. Now next up is our crop section. First off, we're gonna hit the papaya patch. What? Papaya is a very good plant to have because it is not seasonal. So it just keeps fruiting or bearing fruit all year round. So all you need is a couple solid papaya trees and you're good. Everyone like papaya? It's okay if you don't. I like it. Slap some vanilla ice cream in there. Whew. Okay. Thank you very much. Just me? It's fine. My auntie eats it with cottage cheese, which isn't too bad. Also, we have banana. Now, bananas, a lot of folks think that they're called banana trees, which, you know, I thought that my entire life, but I had someone tell me this random fact. And bananas are actually the largest herbaceous plant. On a molecular level, their cells are a lot closer to that of an herb than that of a tree, so they're actually considered herbs. They just so happen to fruit. And another thing about bananas, or banana plants, is that once they fruit like a good batch, like this one, right here off to the right hand side of us, once that batch comes off, they're going to cut it down, and it takes 7 years to bear another big batch of fruit. So it takes a while. It's a lot more complicated. It's good to have different batches at different stages or ages. Like that one off to our far right hand side, we have some more out there. And then we're going to be passing by a few more banana trees up ahead too. Or sorry, banana plants. I can't get that out of my head now. Now here to the left hand side of the bus, this is called Taro. Taro in Hawaiian is kalo, and it's a native species, or it's native to the islands. The Hawaiians use this in many of their dishes. It was actually a main staple. The entire plant can be eaten. The leaves taste kind of like spinach when you wilt them down. The stem, there's no taste, but there's a lot of fiber there. So the Hawaiians would chop them up and cook it in large soupy dishes to stretch out a meal. And then the root is kind of like a potato. It's very starchy. Hawaiians would actually mash it up to make poi, which is what you guys might have seen at luau's. It's that purple paste that they put in the little cups. Now Hawaiians love poi. There's different varieties of taro too. There's a little over 200 varieties. So some poi or some of the corns are sweeter than others. Some have a little tang to it. It really all depends on what variety you get. But yeah, this is a nice size. Now the only thing about this plant is you have to cook it down really well. If you don't, it'll make your throat itchy. So it's good to cook it for about 2.5 to 3 hours long in boiling hot water the whole time. It's not going to be very comfortable. You're going to be coughing for the rest of the day. Now here off to our right hand side, this is our shade house, originally filled with a bunch of ornamental plants. We also have some beautiful plumeria right here off to the right. But originally this area was filled with orchids, anthuriums, and bromeliads. We also have some century plants here too, and some red ginger also off to the right hand side. And what we've done with this area is we've extended it. And what we plan to put there are a bunch of vegetables like kale and lettuce and spinach and celery and radishes and tomatoes, scallions, all different kinds of things. And then we have a few fruits, strawberries, mostly berries too. Strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. We're planning to add to the area. And as I said, all of these things that I'm showing you are things that we eventually plan to have selling either in our farmers market or right here in our visitor center, right here on our property. But for now, that's about it for our diversified agriculture section, and welcome to Cabo Valley. Very soon off to the left-hand side of the bus, you guys will be able to take a look at this moai here. Moais come from the islands of Rapa Nui, also known as Easter Island. This one, though, was brought to us by National Geographic, because there's this huge mystery surrounding these statues. On Easter Island, there's a row of them of about 12 to 15 of them that are left just facing the ocean, but there's a bunch that were left back on the mountainside, and no one knows how these statues got there. They were carved out of the side of the mountain, so they're solid stone, but somehow they were maneuvered all the way to shore. And so that's what people today are trying to figure out. How could these people have possibly have done this hundreds of years ago? Now this moai was brought to us. It was made by National Geographic, and they brought them here to conduct a few experiments. And what they did was they wrapped ropes around the head and the neck of the statue, moved it in a teeter-totting kind of way, and didn't move it at all. That was the most successful method that they found, but unfortunately they weren't even able to move the statue just yet. So there's a few other things that they're going to factor into the experiment, and they're probably going to come back or conduct another experiment somewhere else. But some other scientists have also been digging out a lot of the moais that were left on the mountainside, and some also have legs and feet. So it's like twice as big as what we just saw. So the mystery still continues, I guess. And then here off to the left-hand side, this is a site. So I bet you guys took photos of the Jeep, huh? So this is where the Jeep was driving through. The Jeep that we saw up at the bunker. They used it right here in this area, and that's when I believe there were guests inside the Jeep and the Gallimimus were running alongside of it. That's where they filmed those scenes right over there. And next up, we don't have, we're not going to go to the Jurassic World site, but we do have a site from Jurassic Park. It's a very, very famous scene involving Gallimimus dinosaurs, Sam Neill, and the Hammond grandchildren. They all came over here. Now, right now you can see we have a ton of dinosaurs all around, but unfortunately the dinosaurs have made their way out. We no longer have them here on property. But if you can just imagine some of the Gallimimus dinosaurs hanging out on the hillsides off to our right-hand side. They're cruising over there doing, whatever dinosaurs do. While Sam Neill and Hammond grandchildren were off to the left-hand side of the bus taking a peek. Something had suddenly spooked the dinosaurs, causing them to stampede and head right towards us. So what they did instead was we're going to move back. They hid behind the logs and off to the left-hand side of the bus. So we're going to stop over here and take some photos in this area. Just move up for you guys.
Some cow is angry. Annie, let's go take a picture at the log. Hello. Lindsay.
The $3 million to shoot per episode at one point in time, and that was because they hardly shot in a studio, so they'd have to pay up a certain price to rent out different areas, and then the filming expenses would fall on top of that. So it ended up very, very quickly, as I said, totaling a whopping $2.5 million at the very least. but it did really good. Just 2014, it'd be 10 years since the first episode aired. And here at Kula Ranch, we had a group of about 170 people. They came here to the ranch specifically to see all the lost sites that they possibly could. They also tried to hike up the mountain because they were so sure that they used an area up there. It was pretty fun. It was exciting to say the least. The guides learned way more from the guests that day than the guests did from the guides, but it was totally fine. It was really fun. And now here we have a Godzilla site off to the right hand side. You guys can see this footprint here. We also have another footprint towards the back right hand side of the bus. The Godzilla came in 1998. They filmed a bunch of the movie here. Sorry, Matt. We're going to have a few movies off to the left hand side of the bus. One of them being You, Me, and Debris, starring Kate Hudson, Matt Dillon, Owen Wilson, Seth Rogen, and Michael Douglas. The scene shot in this area filled up the first maybe 15 minutes of the movie. And the road that we are driving on right now is used as a landing strip for some of the scenes. They also used some areas next to our moldy fish pond, about 30 seconds down the road, and that is where a light gray dye, while the wood was used to make a dark red dye. It's actually a deep red color on the inside. Right underneath the bark was a very thick sap called Aulani sap. That's what Hawaiians would use to capture birds. By easily dabbing some sap on top of 3 tree branches, birds would eventually come throughout the day and get stuck, and then the Hawaiians would pick the birds off and pluck whatever feathers they needed, and then they would let the birds go to regenerate more feathers. Hawaiians would also use the seeds not as medicine, but for medicine. When you break the seeds off of the stem, the sap will gather at that breakage point, and that sap was used to remedy minor cuts, minor burns, and even canker sores inside of your mouth. Works really, really good on those. It heals it really quickly. And also you can eat the nut that's on the inside. It tastes very similar to macadamia nuts, but the only difference is it's a very strong laxative. So you do not want to get the two mixed up. I swear, it's like a day on the toilet for a nut. It's no joke. It's some potent stuff, I'm telling you. Yes. But yeah. So here we have the...
So they're going to that one. Oh. Unless they're going to the wrong one.
On his steak.
Happy on the steak. What's up? I don't even know anymore. Oh my god, I just can't even. What is really? No, I don't know.
But you know, he's still there when you get back.
Mama, what's going on with you?
Where's that?
He's up there with the girl.
Oh, okay, okay.
Now this sugar mill was built with rocks and crushed coral for mortar. Now this sugar mill only was up and running for about 8 years. And this was because sugarcane was never able to reach its highest peak here on this side of the island due to the soil being a little too dry and the salt air that was blowing in did not let the sugarcane reach its peak. So now over here you can see the hill and the dip, all the way down. This is where they park the planes. If you can't see it from up here or from down here, as we go up top, you'll be able to see it better. And when we head up to the bunker, they have a diagram of how this entire area was laid out. Now, along with these hangars, they built about 15 of these pillboxes or mini bunkers. This first one coming up on the right-hand side is an escape hatch. Under the escape hatch is a 12 by 12 foot room. You have to make it up the hill, guys. You have to make it up the hill. Almost there. Phew. Alright. Now, the staircase for this pillbox is flush with the grass. So, we have to play I Spy. Yeah, they had one job to cut the grass. They cut it around the bunker, but not around the stairs. So the staircase is in this area, straight back. But from up here, you can see the dip in the hill where they would have had the hangars for the airplanes.
I know, right? We'll be right side someplace, right?
Now, this is where they had a small gun set up, and as we go up, the guns get a little bigger. This next series of pillboxes here, this first one was where they housed the generator. The generator fed power to the gun over at the end, medium-sized gun. This is where they held the ammunition for this gun. Now, this gun could shoot 5 miles straight out into the Pacific Ocean. And the commander for this gun sat to my left, or our left, in this pillbox. Do we have Lost fans? Series Lost? Yeah, this is the Lost bunker. Now, after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, there was nothing else that happened here in the island. The closest thing was the Battle of Midway. And our troops did help out with that, but nothing else happened here. So we're actually heading up to the biggest bunker that we have here in the island. This is Battery Cooper. Battery Cooper, they began building in 43, finished in 44. The war was done in 45. So it was built for nothing. But they did do quite a bit of filming here. So Battery Cooper was built 120 feet into the mountain and 7 stories straight up in the air. Or straight up in the mountain, sorry guys. And we don't go up 7 stories anymore because it's by ladder, and the ladder is pretty low. But we are able to walk through Battery Cooper. In the beginning portion, we have World War II memorabilia, and as you walk through, we have some of our movie memorabilia. Let's hopefully make it up the hill. Now, at the entrance and the exit of Battery Cooper, there's the largest gun. This gun is 6 inches in diameter, and it shot 15 miles straight out into the ocean. Now, this is a rapid fire gun shooting 4 rounds at a time. I will be dropping you folks off at the entrance. If you have little ones, go ahead and go straight into the bunker because I will be moving the bus forward. Just for the safety of everyone. It'd be better if people just headed in and out. We do the pictures when we come back out.